Hi, young Einsteins. We are back for another week of our virtual story time. We have a brand new book today and a really, really fun craft to make after we read our story. Our story today is one of my favorites. It's called Jabari Jumps. And I have a question for you friends at home and for you, Mr. K. Have you ever jumped off a diving board? One of these things here. What about you, Mr. K? Have you ever jumped off the diving board?
Hundreds and thousands of times. My dad used to take us camping to a place that there was a big diving board like that, except it was out like almost in the middle of the lake. So you had to swim out there, and then you had to climb up the ladder to get to like this deck platform place. And then, you could jump off. You could jump off a little diving board, or you could climb up even higher and jump off the big diving board. So I love jumping off diving boards. What about you?
I have jumped off of those diving boards that are just, they just barely come over the water. But once you get like the ladder here and they get really tall, I get scared of those because I don't really like being up high. So that's pretty scary to me. So I have never jumped off of a diving board that looks like this one. But you know what? That's what our story is about today. It's about a little boy named Jabari, and he is trying to jump off the diving board, and he's going to have some feelings about it. So we're going to read to find out how Jabari feels about jumping off the diving board. So I'm going to turn the camera around so we can start. Jabari Jumps by Gaia, Cornwall. I really like this opening page because it looks like the water. It's a really cool color. Look at Jabari getting ready for the pool. Do you know what these things are that he has on his face?
Sunglasses.
Have you ever seen those before? Mr. K, do you know what those are?
Yeah, they're sunglasses, obviously.
Are you sure? That doesn't sound right to me. I thought that sunglasses were kind of like darker over your eyes.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Maybe, those are what the people wear when they want to look underwater, goggles.
Oh, yeah. That's what they're called. Hopefully our friends at home knew that those are called swim goggles. That's going to come up later in our video. All right, here we go. I'm jumping off the diving board today, Jabari told his dad. Really? Said his dad. The diving board was high and maybe a little scary. But Jabari had finished his swimming lessons and passed his swim test. And now he was ready to jump. Oh, when I was a kid, I took swim lessons, just like Jabari did. Did you ever take those, Mr. K?
Yep, I passed all mine.
Excellent. I'm a great jumper, said Jabari, so I'm not scared at all. Jabari watched the other kids climb a long ladder. They walked all the way out to the end of the diving board, as big as tiny bugs. Then they stood on the edge. They spread their arms and bent their knees and sprang up, up, up. And then they dove down, down, down. Splash. Looks easy, Jabari said. But when his dad squeezed his hand, Jabari squeezed back. Jabari stood at the bottom of the ladder. He looked up. You can go before me if you want, he told the kid behind him. I need to think about what kind of special jump I'm going to do. Jabari thought and thought. I'm wondering what's happening on this page. I noticed that Jabari was at the front of the line, and then he let all the other kids go before him until he was left all by himself. I wonder what Jabari's thinking. Why isn't he climbing up the ladder? Maybe if you're listening at home, you could pause the video and tell somebody at home what you think. Why isn't Jabari going up the ladder? What do you think, Mr. K?
He's scared. I've seen that before in real life. I've probably done it a few times too, but I think he's just a little afraid right now.
What would tell you that he's afraid? I thought he said that he was excited to go.
On the previous page, the last line that you read said something about Jabari squeezing his dad's hand, and I think that just means like he wants to stay by his dad because he might be a little scared. So that's why I think he's just a little bit fearful right now of going up the diving board.
I wonder if that's ever happened to my friends at home. Has there ever been a time when you felt scared about something, but maybe you didn't say it out loud? Like Jabari hasn't said he's scared, but sometimes we can tell how people are feeling by the things that they do instead of the things that they say. So Mr. K made some good connections, things that he heard about and things that he's seen in his life that told him how Jabari might be feeling. Let's see. Jabari started to climb up and up. This ladder is very tall, he thought. Are you okay? Called his dad. I'm just a little tired, said Jabari. Maybe you should climb down and take a tiny rest, said his dad. A tiny rest sounded like a good idea. On this page, it told us that Jabari is feeling tired. Friends at home, do you think that Jabari is really feeling tired? If you don't think that he's tired, how do you think he is feeling? Mr. K, do you think Jabari is really feeling tired?
I do not think he is tired. I believe that right now, since he's a little scared and he doesn't want people to know that he's scared, he's kind of just coming up with excuses not to have to jump off the diving board. So I totally understand where he's coming from.
Oh, so you're saying that sometimes people don't always say exactly how they're feeling. They might say something else to avoid something that's scary. That makes sense to me. That reminds me about a time in my life where I felt scared because I told you I really don't like heights. And one thing that I was always really scared of is climbing trees. And so I used to say to people, oh, I'm just not good at climbing a tree. But that really wasn't true. It wasn't that I was bad at doing it. It's that it was scary to me. But I didn't really want to say that out loud. So we'll have to see what Jabari decides to do. When he got to the bottom, Jabari remembered something. I forgot to do my stretches, he said to his dad. Stretching is very important, said his dad. I'm wondering, do you really need to do stretches to jump off a diving board? That's not something I've ever heard of before.
Why do you think Jabari, friends at home, why might he be doing stretches right now? Maybe you can tell somebody in your family what you think about that. Why would he be doing stretches? I remember on the couple pages ago that he let all the other kids get in line before him. And now on this page, he's doing stretches when he really doesn't need to. I'm thinking maybe this is another way for Jabari to avoid, that means not do, avoid the thing that is making him scared. I wonder what you think Jabari should do right now. What could he do if we think that he might be feeling scared? What do you think, Mr. K? What should Jabari do right now?
If Jabari's feeling too scared to go up, he should tell his dad that, and because his dad wants him to be safe because he loves him, and then he wouldn't go out on the diving board, or he could ask the lifeguard if his dad could go into the diving pool so that when Jabari did jump in, his dad could be right there in the water waiting for him. He would just have to do it safe so he doesn't jump on top of his dad.
Oh, so it sounds like what I'm hearing you say, Mr. K, is that Jabari needs to ask for help or tell people that he's feeling scared about doing it, and maybe ask for something that could help him to feel less scared. That's really important to do. When you have a really strong feeling about something, it's really good to ask for the things that you need. Let's see what Jabari decides to do. I think tomorrow might be a better day for jumping, Jabari said. They looked up at the diving board together. It's okay to feel a little scared, said his dad. Sometimes, if I feel a little scared, I take a deep breath and I tell myself I am ready. And you know what? Sometimes it stops feeling scary and feels a little like a surprise. Jabari loved surprises. What is Dad's advice to Jabari? Friends at home, what is Dad saying? Maybe you can tell someone else, like a brother or sister who maybe is watching the video with you. What is Dad saying to Jabari that he should do to stop being so scared? Mr. K, were you listening? Can you help us?
I feel like his dad is trying to give Jabari tips to believe in himself and to like strategies and tools that he can use where if he's in a situation where he feels scared or has a little fear, he can give himself some pointers or some good bits of advice that will help him not be so scared, and he might be able to achieve what he set out to do.
Yeah, and Dad even mentioned that if you start telling yourself that you're ready, that instead of feeling scared, what you're doing might feel like a surprise. And you know what, friends? I actually asked this question yesterday when we did this Zoom live with some of the young Einsteins. And my friend Leonidas actually said something that I thought was so smart. He said, I think that Dad is saying that if you tell yourself that you're ready to do something, then you can start thinking about the thing like it might be a good thing instead of that it's just going to be a bad thing that's going to happen to you. And to me, I thought that was really smart, and that sounded right. Jabari's dad wants him to make his own choice,
and to think about the scary thing, jumping off the diving board, as maybe something that could be really, really fun. So I don't know what's going to happen in the story. We're going to have to wait until next week's video to find out if Jabari takes his dad's advice and jumps off the diving board or not. So stay tuned. But today we have a really, really excellent, super awesome, totally fun project to do that is in your bag. So you need to go in your backpack and find the Ziploc bag that says Jabari jumps on it, and that's the one that you need to get out. And once you have that, you're going to need a couple of things. You are going to need the like foam piece that looks like this. Yours might not be yellow because they came in all different colors. So mine's yellow, yours might be a different color, but you need this piece of foam, and you need this black piece of string, and so fun. This is the best part. You need these awesome stars that I threw into your bag. So you can get all of that out, and then we'll start making the craft, and I'm going to show you what it is. So let me turn the camera around. Okay. So here's my foam piece, my black elastic string, and all my stars. So I'm going to leave this ribbon and the paper inside the bag for next week. But now I have all my stuff ready to go. So at the beginning of the story, I asked you what Jabari is wearing on his face. Mr. K, what were those called again?
A superhero mask. Or no, it wasn't. It's not a mask, and they're not sunglasses. They're the things that people use to look underwater. Goggles, swim goggles.
Oh, good job, Mr. K. You got it. So we're going to make our very own swim goggles today. And it's actually pretty easy. I'm going to show you how to make it. So you need to take your piece of foam, that's what this stuff is called, and all you need to do is just carefully pull at the foam like this, and it's going to pop right out. Just be careful so that you don't rip it, and it should come right off. There we go. Now you can see the shape of our goggles. And next I'm going to do the same thing with the holes in the middle. Just pop it out like that. And those are our goggles. Now you might notice that these pieces like have these little shapes. Like here's a lightning bolt and some circles. So if you want, you can also pop those out because you could use these as decoration. We're going to get to that. So you can pop whatever you want out of here. If you don't want to use them, that's fine. And then the last thing to do is we have to pop out these tiny little holes right here on the side. See how I did that? There's one on this side and one on the other side. There we go. Now, the really fun part. We get to decorate our goggles however you want them to look. So the first thing that I'm going to do is use these stars because these things are awesome because they're actually stickers on the back. There's this white paper, and all I have to do is peel it off, and then it's sticky. And so I can put the stars anywhere that I want. So I'll start by doing that. Mr. K, if you could have any color swim goggles, what color would you want?
Miss Emily, I'm not sure if you knew this about me, but I am a state champion swimmer. I was.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so I've been in swimming since I was like 5 or 6, and I'm still pretty good at it. But there was like, every year that I would sign up for summer swim team, like one of the exciting parts was going to get a new pair of goggles. And my favorite color is blue, so I like blue goggles. But Miss Emily, they had these one pairs that had like metallic lenses, so you could not see my eyes when I put them on. It made me feel like I was wearing cool sunglass goggles.
Ooh, that sounds awesome. Okay, so now I have my stars along the top, and I'm gonna add my lightning bolts. Now these aren't stickers, so I'm just gonna have to use the glue stick that's in my backpack and put glue on them so I can stick these on. So you can do that too if you want the lightning bolts on yours, but it's up to you. You don't have to. You know, when I was a kid, my best friend had a swimming pool, and she had these really cool goggles that also had a snorkel attached to them, which, if you don't know, a snorkel is this little thing that goes into your mouth, and then you have to like stick it up above the water where the air is, and then you can breathe for longer underwater. So she had these like really cool snorkel goggles, and they were my favorite thing. Every time I went to her house, I would try to get those goggles. Okay, there are my lightning bolts. I think they look pretty good. You can leave your mask like this, or your goggles like this, but if you want, you could do some more decorating. So I'm gonna go back into my backpack and get out the bag of markers, because markers actually show up really well on foam. So I'm gonna add some marker decoration also. Purple's my favorite color, so I'll have to pick purple. And maybe I'll pick orange, because I don't have any orange on here yet. And I'll do some cool circles at the bottom. Mr. K, how much do you still go swimming? Do you go a lot?
I do. I go swimming every other week at my niece's house. Actually, it's not her house, it's my brother's house. But he has a pool, and I like to go swimming with my nieces. And it's not a really big pool, like the swimming pool that towns have with like diving boards. But it's a big
Yeah.
enough pool where we can run around in it. It's about 4 feet deep. So I enjoy going back to my brother's house because he has a nice pool. Otherwise, I've been to this place called Devil's Lake a couple times this summer to go swimming, and I can't wait until it's all safe and sound again to get back into the pool.
Devil's Lake, isn't that where you take some of the older future urban leaders scholars?
Yeah, when you are in 6th grade and 7th grade and 8th grade, we take a trip to Devil's Lake and we go hiking and we cook out and we throw frisbee and football. And actually, a couple kids did the snorkeling activity and rode some paddle boards and canoes. So that's really exciting. We couldn't do it this summer because we didn't want anybody to get sick, but next summer it's on like Donkey Kong.
Oh, so I guess when our young Einsteins get to be that age, that's something they could look forward to doing.
Yep. And I don't know. Can you keep a secret, Miss Emily?
I'm an excellent secret keeper. Do you think that our friends watching the video are good secret keepers?
Yes, I'm pretty sure Josiah, Nyla, maybe Kylie, maybe Von Trell, maybe a couple other of our young Einsteins. They can probably keep a secret. Keep this secret,
All
Miss
right,
Emily.
tell us then.
I think next summer we're going to invite the young Einsteins to a pool party for the whole day. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. All of us will be invited?
Yeah, and nobody else. Like no big brothers and sisters. Maybe if they have to come, they can. But this is going to be just a young Einsteins party.
I am so excited for that. Do you think that we'll be able to wear goggles?
Man, they got goggles. They got water slides. They have diving boards. They have everything you can do in a pool.
That sounds so awesome. I can't wait.
It's gonna be great.
Well, my goggles are almost ready. The last thing I need to do is attach the string. Now, this part is tricky. You might need a grown-up to help you with this, or a big brother or sister. So, but what you need to do is you need to take this end of the string and put it through that little hole that we made earlier. I'm going to string it through like that. And then we're going to tie what's called a double knot. A double knot means that you tied in a knot 2 times in a row so that it doesn't come undone. But we have to kind of keep it at the end here. So this might be a job for mom or dad to help you with because it's a little tricky. But I'm going to make one knot like this. And then I'm going to make another one right on top so that it doesn't come undone. So if you need help with this, you could just go to mom or dad or grandma or whoever's there with you and just say, could you please help me with this? Grown-ups always like it when you ask nicely and you say please. So, and then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And then our goggles will be ready. It's tricky. There we go. And now we have an awesome pair of swim goggles, just like Jabari in the story. Yesterday, we made these when we had our live Zoom, and we all took a picture of ourselves wearing our awesome goggles. So I would love it, and I'm sure Mr. K would love it too, if we got pictures from you young Einsteins if you made your goggles at home. We would love a picture of you wearing it. Don't you think, Mr. K?
Yeah, make your goggles. Send me pictures.
Exactly. Well, I had so much fun making our goggles today and reading another of one of my favorite books. And we will be back next Wednesday for our last read aloud of the summer. And we're going to find out what Jabari does, if he can be brave and jump off the diving board. And we're going to make our last activity. And then we will be all done. So I can't wait to see you guys next week. I hope you had fun reading the book and making the craft with us today. And we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye, everybody. Have a good weekend.